Now, on Emeritus Newsbrief, I'm Lynn Houston. Big developments in the Chrysler bankruptcy. The U.S. Supreme Court late Tuesday turned back a challenge from 3 Indiana pension funds to stop or delay the Chrysler bankruptcy. The pension funds claimed the value of their investments was unfairly diminished in the bankruptcy settlement and that federal officials had no legal right to use TARP money for the Chrysler bailout. But the Supreme Court said the pension funds had shown no proof that the court actually needed to intervene. The court's decision now clears the way for Chrysler to sell assets to Fiat, possibly within the next 2 days. Also on Tuesday, a bankruptcy judge in New York ruled against 789 Chrysler dealerships that Chrysler has wanted to close. The judge ruled that Chrysler was within its right to pull the franchises. A proposal for tax breaks for consumers who buy fuel-efficient cars has passed the House. That bill, called the Cash for Clunkers bill, gives up to $4,500 to consumers for buying a new fuel-efficient car to replace their gas guzzler. The program, which, believe it or not, is part of the war funding bill, now goes to the Senate, where it's expected to pass and be signed by President Obama. Details of the program, including restrictions, on the Emeritus News consumer page. 3 committees from the U.S. House have released their joint proposal for health care reform. It includes a public plan that would compete with private insurers. The plan also prevents insurers from excluding people with pre-existing conditions or engaging in other discriminatory practices. It also bans pricing based on gender, health status, or occupation, and strictly limits premium variations based on age. It establishes a new health insurance exchange for individuals and small employers to comparison shop among private insurers, and a new public health insurance option. Their proposal on the Emeritus News healthcare page. A new report from Health and Human Services shows growing disparities in health care among minorities as the country is spending more to get less. The report claims that 4 in 10 low-income Americans are without insurance and that African Americans are forced to use emergency rooms twice as often as whites because they are uninsured or don't have access to primary care doctors. The full report also available on the Emeritus News healthcare page. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation releasing a new directory of regions around the country that qualify for federal funds under the Community Reinvestment Act. Most of those areas are economically ravaged, hit by recession, poverty, and people just packing up and leaving. See the entire list on the Emeritus News business page. The latest on the biggest issues and public policy at emeritusnews.com and on the Emeritus News channel at livestream.com. That's an Emeritus News Brief. I'm Lynn Houston.